Are doing stretching with strength this morning. And hello, everybody on YouTube. We are going to move our body. This class is about teaching you different ways to eliminate different pains in your body. Today, we're going to focus mainly on the hips, but we do the whole body. And what I'm teaching you is different ways to move your body with purpose. Instead of yanking on your tightness, we're going to start contracting muscles that are contributing to that tightness so the tightness goes away on its own. And we strengthen the other muscles that are causing these tight muscles to kick in and help you and protect you. So I always tell people, you have tightness, respect that tightness. You have pain, respect that pain. These are parts of your body that are overworking. We're going to discover the ones that are underworking, and we're going to start working those muscles to let the tightness have a break. So I hope that makes sense to you. And we'll start with a warm up of our hip flexors, or just our hip mobility and our spine mobility. So I just want you to sit cross-legged. Go ahead and get in your comfortable cross-legged position. And then we're going to mix it up a bit because I want you to switch your legs. That's your natural go-to. Let's just keep the body guessing on how we're moving. So we're switching our legs for this. And I want you just to loosely place your palms on your knees. And what we're going to do is we're going to circle from way down here. But you can kind of let your back flow, let it move. This is an early morning class. So if you're taking it first thing in the your spine has been set in one or two places all night long. So we're going to move the fluids that are in between all those vertebrae, and we're going to move the fluids into our hips, and we're going to get all these joints nice and lubed up, all right? So let's reverse that circle. Just circle, circle, circle. Feel everything just kind of flow. And now you can sit here, and I want you to work on the neck just a little bit. I want you to shrug your shoulders up to your ears and squeeze them tight. Squeeze them, get them up there, wear them like earrings, okay? And then push those shoulders down. So feel your shoulder blades on the back of your body pushing down towards your back pockets. And squeeze your shoulders up. Squeeze them tight, tight, tight. And then push them down, push them down, push them down, push them down. And as we go through our day, we typically feel these shoulders like squeezing up, 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 up. That's okay today. Squeeze them there. But then I really want you to push them back down. Push them down. So if you're sitting at your desk or you're looking at a computer a long time, this is something you'd love to do. So squeeze it up. And when you're doing this, we're thinking about moving the shoulder blades up and down our back. So we're not really thinking about this to this. We're moving those shoulder blades on our back body. But let's go to hands and knees right now. So when you're on hands and knees, I want you to be really conscious of where your hands and knees are. You want to set yourself up in what we call tabletop. And there's a reason it's called table, because your arms and your legs from here to here are the legs of the table. So if your table is kind of like this, you don't have a very stable table. You don't want your table legs to be on here. You want them to be right under the corners of the table, which are your shoulders and your hips. So line your table up, and then I want you to flatten your feet. We're going to work through that spine right now. So go ahead and bring your chin to your chest and push your back up to the ceiling. Think of your navel going up to the ceiling, up through your back. Reach it up, reach it up, reach it up. Now, I just want you to let it flatten out. But as you do, I want you to lift your chin. Your neck should be going in the same direction your low back is. So my low back has got a sway to it. So does my neck. I'm looking up. And then as we drop our chin to our chest, we're rounding our low back to the ceiling. We're also rounding our neck. So very important that your neck always goes the way your low back does. So stay in this rounded position. This is going to feel so good. Stay round, pull your navel up to your spine, push your hips back, back, back. into your heels as far as you can go. Once you're there, drop your elbows to the mat. Now it's time to lift our chin up and slide our up through our hands like we're doing a mini cobra. Come back up to tabletop and let everything go flat. Let's do that again. So I want you to bring your chin to your chest, navel to your spine, roll back, push those hips back, opening up everything. And then drop your elbows to the floor. Your chin comes up. Slide your chest through your hands and come back up to tabletop. Very good, very good. So you should have a really nice loose spine from here. So from here, let's go ahead and go on our back. So when you're on your back, I want you to grab a yoga block. I should have told you this in advance. And a little prop for your head. It can be a pillow. It could be another yoga block. I love this weighted ball that I've had for years. And I'm going to put this behind my neck. So we're going to go down to our backs. But I'm putting this behind my neck because, like we just talked about, we want our neck going the same direction as our low back. And what we'll be doing is rounding our low back into the floor. So take your yoga block, put it between your knees. I want you to put your hands down flat on the floor. So we've got nice wide open palms. Our hands are flat on the floor. The yoga block is gently placed between our knees and our head is tilted. So if you're on the floor with your head, it's fine, okay? But I want your chin tilted down. I want you looking at the top of your knees. I like a little prop here. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to save our low back. We're still working towards those hips, but I want you to press your palms firmly, but not really press through the floor, but just attach them to the floor. This gives you a little neuro input to these abdominal muscles. Then I want you to pull your navel into your spine. And when you do that, you should feel a gentle tilt of this pubic bone coming up toward your nose. We're not lifting the hips up off the floor. This is just a gentle rounding of the pubic bone, and I want you to hold that. This is a 6-second hold. Now go ahead and release the palms. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it again. I'm going to count it out for you. It's a long 6 seconds, but you want to release it for 6 seconds as well. This is great for the low back. So our palms are gently placed on the floor like little suction cups. I want you to look at the top of your knees so your neck is rounded. Now pull your navel into your spine and feel that gentle tilt of that ridge of the pubic bone right there coming toward your nose. Hold that. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we release it. And the release for 6 is just as important as the hold for 6. This is going with neural input. So we're engaging these lower abdominal muscles. And if you've ever had a C-section or any kind of abdominal surgery, this is a must to get these muscles going properly. Let's do it one more time. You've really got it. So pull your navel into your spine, look at the top of your knees. Feel that pubic bone, just a subtle movement tilting toward your nose, and keep holding, keep holding, keep holding, and take it down and just release. So what we're doing here is we're engaging these deep lower abdominal muscles with some purpose and some intent. They're going to hold your pubic bone and your whole pelvic girdle in place. And if you, like I said, if you've had surgery, that's huge. You need this. All right. They send you home from the hospital C-section and say, hey, we just cut your stomach open, but we're not going to give you any rehab. Well, this is some rehab that you definitely need if you've had any surgery. So let's go to the hips. What I want you to do is I want you to take your left knee, bring it up, take the left ankle, place it on top of the right knee, and we're going to open this hip up, okay? Normal normal way to do it is just to push this leg open, right? Push it open. Well, we're not going to do any pushing. We're not going to stretch the inside. We're going to engage the back side of this hip. That's going to open up the hip instead of just pulling on the tight inside of the hip. So we've got our ankle and our knee. Now I want you to bring your right foot up off the floor. So you're bringing your knee closer to you. That's automatically giving you a stretch right back here. But let's engage these external hip rotators. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your left hand and put it on the back side of your left knee. And I want you to put
You want to stay asleep a while?
into this hand, your left hand. We have an open mic, guys. And push that left knee away from your body. Push it away into that hand. So your hand is just giving it gentle resistance. But by doing so, we're engaging all these external rotators of the hip. So take it down. Let's do that again. We got it warmed up. So we're going to bring the knee up towards us, and you might get a little closer this time. Once you're here where you can go, I want you to place your left hand on the outside of your knee, not pushing it open. We're not doing that. We're going to put it here. We're going to press our knee. So our knee is what we're pressing out into our hand. Press it, press it. Use those external rotator muscles of the hip. Good job, good job. Feel that press and take it down. Let's do it one more on this side. And as we're doing this, we're working the hip flexors on the right side. So we're going to bring it up here. And by doing this on the floor, you've got a nice stable spine. Your hips are as level as you can get them. So once we're here to where you can get it, take your hand on the outside of your knee, push that knee out into your hand. Push it, open it up, make it work, make it go there. There you go. Keep holding, and then take it down. Good job. All right, go ahead and stretch that leg long. Stretch the other leg long. And we're going to do that on the right side. So bend the left knee. We're going to take the right ankle, put it on the left knee. Now you might have one side that opens up more than the other. That's pretty typical, but we love to be symmetrical. So our goal is to get to be symmetrical. So now I want you to lift that knee up off the floor, your left knee. Now you're in you're pretty much getting a stretch right here, but we're going to add some intention to it. So take your right hand, put it on the outside of your right knee. Now I want you to open up that right knee and push it. And you might not be able to open it up very far. That's okay. But get a little movement in there and push that knee open into your hand because you're using your hip to open this up when you do this. So if you were just here and you were pushing there, all you're doing is stretching and you're not making the muscle that's supposed to get you there working. So we're going to push that knee open. We're going to shorten the muscles in the hip flexors. We're going to get them to move. We're going to get them to contract and do what they're supposed to do. And then we're going to come out of it. Relax for a sec. All right, bring that leg up. Take your right hand on the outside of your right knee and open up that right knee. You're pushing it. Now, this side's a little more difficult for me. You might find that you have one side more difficult than the others. But like I said, we're also getting a nice contraction in this opposite hip flexor. A lot of good work for the hips here. A lot of good work, keeping them level, lining them up, getting all the levers and pulleys working in the right directions to keep your hips happy, and take it down. We're going to do that one more time. So by keeping your hips lined up, your spine fits nice and perfectly down into the middle of the hips and keeps the low back really happy. So come over here, do it again. Take your hand on the outside of your knee. You're pushing your knee away, pushing it into your hand. Push it into your hand. Might be caught if it's pretty tight, doesn't want to move, it's going to cause more action over here. That's okay. And take it down. Stretch the legs out long. Good job. So let's get a little stretch through these hip flexors, but we're going to do it by using our glutes. So I want you to take your yoga block again, and I want you to place it in between your knees. Now we're going to be very purposeful in squeezing and contracting our glutes, our buttocks muscles. So go ahead and put your hands down by your side. And what I want you to do here is I want you to squeeze your butt cheeks together. Just squeeze them together really tight. Now hold that squeeze, and I want you to keep squeezing, and I want you to lift your hips up off the floor with that nice tight squeeze. Don't let the squeeze go. Keep the squeeze and lower it down, lower it down, lower it down. And now you can release it. Bring your knees toward your chest. And then place them down. Let's do that again. I want you to squeeze the glutes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift, lift, lift the hips. Lift, lift, lift. Now we're opening up these hip flexors, but we're using the glutes on the back side to open them up. So the tighter you squeeze back here, the higher you're going to be able to lift here. And let's lower it down. Nice and steady. Keep the squeeze. We're using that contraction on every bit of this motion. And relax, and then bring your knees towards your chest. All right, let's do it one more time. So the goal to this class is to teach you different movements that feel good to you. Go ahead and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. That might relieve some pain, or it might be something that you feel like I'm really tight there and that just opened it up. So I want to do this every day. So instead of yanking on our tightness, I want you to be strengthening the muscles that have gone a little weak, that actually cause the tight muscles to come in and say, we got to hold you together. We're going to do this. We don't want those tight muscles to have to hold us together. We want all our muscles moving. So pick some of these moves that I'm teaching you every Wednesday and utilize them in your everyday routine. And bring your knees to your chest. All right. So let's do a little windshield wiper. Still work the hips. So I want you to bring your feet about as wide as your mat. And then you're going to drop both your knees over to the left. And this is a purposeful stretch. I don't want you like yanking on your body. Once again, keep both shoulders on the floor and bring it up. And let's go drop our legs to the other side. Keeping both shoulders on the floor. Nice job, nice job. Feel those hip flexors get a little stretch. Good job, good job. All right, so now we're going to do another move where we lock out our lumbar spine as we lift our hips off the floor. So when we're doing bridges, if you're just loosely doing them and you're not squeezing your glutes and you're just going up and down like this, you're typically overworking your lumbar spine. You're lifting from your hips. You're not really using your glutes to lift yourself up. So to find out if that's what you're doing, what we're going to do is we're going to take our right foot and stamp it on the floor. We're going to bring our left leg in towards us. And by bringing that knee into hip flexion past 90 degrees right here, what we're doing is we're locking out that lumbar spine. So that lumbar spine is locked. So now all we have to lift us up is our glute. So I want you to firmly place that right foot into the floor, and I want you to lift your hip up off the floor, and you're going to feel it going right to that glute. And take it down. So when you lift, I don't want this leg going away from you because we lose that lock in the lumbar spine. So press your right foot firmly into the floor, lift your hip up off the floor. Feel that glute on the backside engage and lower it down. Let's do that one more time. Firmly press your right foot into the floor, Lift your hip up off the floor. Squeeze it, make it work. You can't help but make it work on this one. There's no cheating on this one. And take it down. All right, take the legs out long. And we're going to do the other side. We cannot let that other side be missed. So you're going to bring your right knee into your chest. Your left foot is firmly placed onto the floor, and you're squeezing and you're lifting. So you will notice these hips are not going to get as high as they did when we didn't have the lumbar spine locked out. So this takes the load off your low back if you have low back problems, and it starts working your glutes. So when you bend over, your glutes, all the stuff on the back side is helping you. We've worked the abdominals, so they're squeezing, they're getting you there. So you should be nice and warmed up, ready to bend over, ready to walk, ready to move throughout your whole day after we get done here. And lower it down. One more time, firmly place that left foot into the floor. Lift your hips up off the floor. Good job, lower it down. All right. So typically you'd want to squeeze those glutes, you want to squeeze those knees into your chest. We're not going to do that today. We want those glutes to stay nice and contracted and working and all that. So let's go ahead and sit up. I want you to sit with your left foot bent in front of you here, and your right leg is bent back behind you. So we're opening up these hips a little bit more. Let's get a nice stretch through that hip flexor, but we're going to do it by contracting that glute again. So take your left hand, place it behind you as a kickstand, and I want you to rise up onto your knees. So we got a nice triangle going here. And then let's give a nice big wingspan too. So you're going to reach your arm up to the ceiling. Your shoulders are straight across, your arms are straight across from each other. But we're pushing this hip forward. We're squeezing the backside of this glute. We're opening this up. So the more you squeeze the backside of that glute, the more open your hip flexor is going to get. Feel that nice blood flow. Let's do a little arm circle while we're here. This feels so good. Opening up that whole right side of the body and circle the other way. Go ahead and give it a nice big circle. Awesome. Okay, you're reaching. Let's take it down. Let's switch it to the other side. So this time, your right foot and knee are bent in front of you. Left leg's bent behind you. And you want to sit up as tall as you can. You've got your right hand for your kickstand. We're pushing up to our triangle. Nice. And now I want you to reach your arm up to the ceiling as far as you can. Once again, we're squeezing the backside of this left glute to open up this right hip flexor. Feel that open, but we're going to do a little circle so you can feel that all the way up the left side of your body. You're getting a nice stretch because other stuff is contracting, and reverse your circle. And it's telling your body, oh, we can open up. We can get some blood flow there. Nobody's yanking on us. They're really working these muscles to get us into this position. It's awesome. Okay, take it down, take it down. All right, once we're here, we'll keep our legs in the same position with our right foot in front of us. I want you to take both hands to the right side of your body. Reach them out long as you can go. And then just drop your elbows down. All right, so now we're going to work the left hip a little bit. I want you to take your left foot and I want you to lift it up off the floor and take it down. So we worked on external rotation of the hip. Now we're working on internal. So by lifting this left foot off the floor, your hip is internally rotating. So lift it up where you can go. It's not going to be a high lift. And go ahead and lift the foot up off the floor. Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. And take it down. Let's do this 3 more times. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. And lift and lower. So the goal is to not feel this stopping at your knee. This part is rotating as well. So if you're feeling a lot in your knee, your hip is stuck, okay? So that's why we're doing these moves. We need to unstick those hips. So let's reverse this. So now your left leg's in front. Back to our original stance, your right leg's back behind. We're going to rotate. And when you rotate, I want you to think of taking your whole rib cage, just not your neck and shoulders. Take that rib cage and rotate it over towards the left. Take your hands here, walk them out where you need to go so you can get your elbows down onto the mat. And from here, we're going to lift that right foot up off the floor. Now this one's tighter on me. I feel the difference. You might feel the difference from one side to the other. Lift that foot. Lift that foot. So this is telling me this hip needs a little more internal rotation. So this is something I would want to do a little more of. We're going to do this lift. And do 2 more. 1. And 2. Good job. Come on back up to a seated position. All right, everybody. I want you to straighten your legs. And we're going to get these legs stretched out just a bit and we'll be done. What I want you to do is take your left leg and bend it. And I want you to sit up. I'm going to turn sideways. I want you to sit up as tall as you can. If you can back yourself up to a wall, that's awesome. And the closer your hips are to the wall, the harder it's going to be to lift this leg. But I want you to sit up nice and tall. Your shoulders are down. You're pushing those shoulder blades in your back pocket now, like we learned in the beginning. And I want you just to lift your heel up off the floor and put it down. We're going to do 6 of these. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. And you're flexing your foot back towards your head. And when you flex your foot back towards your head, I want you to think of the top of your foot coming to your shin. Let the toes just go along for the ride. So we can, flex that foot with our toes, but let's do it with the top of our foot and be mindful of where that movement's coming from. So let's switch legs. Bring your leg in. Once again, you're going to sit up nice and tall. You're pushing your shoulder blades down into your back pocket. We already got those going there. You're taking the top of your foot towards the top of your shin, and you're going to lift your heel up off the floor. So all these subtle little things that set you up are really important. If I was just using my toes to get me back there, it's not the same mobility in my ankle. So I'm working my ankle mobility too. I'm taking the top of my foot towards my shin, and I'm lifting my heel up and down off the floor. All right. You are good. I hope you pick 1, 2, or all of these moves to incorporate in your daily routine to keep your hips nice and open, to keep your low back happy, and just to have a beautiful, wonderful day with some really flexible mobility. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Miss Hattie's waving at you.
Hi. I couldn't see anybody that came in. I had it on that gallery view. Hey, Miss Hattie.
You're muted, Miss Hattie.
I said, thanks a lot, Chris. You might not always see me, but I'm there.
I can feel your presence pushing me on.
It helps.
Chris, when are we going to see some more pictures of the baby?
Oh, well, you don't have to ask me too much. There's a lot of pictures of the baby. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
All right.
I am in love with that little Sloan girl. My little nickname for her is Sloany Baloney. And
Oh my
Dad goes,
goodness.
oh my God, we didn't think of any of these names that would rhyme. I said, well, that's just between she and I,
Right. Okay, Chris, I will see you at 10.
Yes, and so 10 o'clock
Okay.
our time, Miss Hattie, or 9 o'clock? I was
I'm in
confused.
Bermuda, so I have to come up an hour. So it's
Oh.
still gonna be 10. It's still going to be 10. It's gonna be 9 for me.
Okay, that's what I need to know, because it's
No, wait a
9,
minute, 10, yeah,
9 for me, 10 for you.
Wait.
9 for,
It's
9:30.
Renee,
She's
tell us what we're doing today.
Okay, you're the normal time, Chris. She's
Keep
doing.
it simple. Everything is always Eastern. That's how
Yeah,
we can remember things. Everything is always Eastern.
Okay, so
Okay.
Tina, what time is it?
Oh, I'm doing a pop-up at 9:30. Right before you,
Okay,
before
Veronica's
us.
hot tub. I see you.
Ladies, I ladies, I'm trying to, lots of these pictures, ladies, every day of our self-care activity that we're going to choose. This is a jacuzzi at my gym. It's absolutely free. So, girls think 30 minutes a day self-care time for all of us.
Mhm.
Are we down?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Down.
We
So,
deserve, girls, we deserve it.
doing this class today with self-care too, but Tina, back to when we're talking today, what time Eastern time are me and Miss Hattie getting on our thing? She there? Renee?
I can tell, it's like she said, it's everything's Eastern. It's 10 Eastern.
That's what I